Wasteland 3 was originally released on 28th of August 2020 by Deep Silver and In Exile? In Exile. It's spelt a bit different, I've only seen it written down. In Exile, yeah, just go with In Exile. Entertainment on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and I paid £12 for this in the Steam sale. As always, starting off with graphics. I understand that this is a AA game, not a AAA game, so they're doing what they can with what they have, and I am going into this just to let you know as a complete freshie because I've never played Wasteland 2, Wasteland 1. I only just found out that Wasteland 1 inspired Fallout, if I'm getting my information correct, which is mind-blowing to me because I didn't know that. This is all new information to me, so that's what piqued my interest, and when I saw this was on sale for 12 quid, well, I was going to snap it up straight away. Not to say it's a bad looking game by no means, but some of the character designs, like the character creation, my main two characters are Biscuit and Twonk, and they just look like they've gone to a Halloween store and stuck on a cheap beard with some Pritt stick, that's a glue in England if you weren't sure, and stuck a funny looking wig on. They all look a bit off, like they're a cyborg trying to pretend to be human. That might be a bit of a twist at the end, I don't know. It turns out everybody's a cyborg, but I doubt it. I think it's just a bit, goofy graphics. Up until this point, I had no idea I was a fan of cats wearing hats, but turns out I am. With the goofiness of the characters, they do look a bit off at times, not gonna lie. The graphics are fine, like, you've got to equate this for a £12 game, AAA developer, AA developer. They've done really well, but there are some odd floating beards, and it almost looks like that thing where the guy puts on the fake glasses and the big nose and the mustache. That's kind of what you look like, and by the end of it, well, not by the end of it, within the first 10 minutes, everyone's looking like they're some sort of futuristic Mad Max dystopian punk from 2077. It's weird. It's like Fallout took place in the 50s and this was in the 90s, so I guess that there would be a disparity between, how people dress. Certainly no powerhouse, but I didn't experience anything other than I did get a bit of a tiny slowdown when there was huge explosions on the screen, and my rig is not a beast, but it's very capable of every game on Ultra in 1440p, but it ran really well. I had one crash for a 22-hour playthrough, and I by no means completed the game because after 20 hours I realised how big it was. And I don't mean big in the sense that the map is so huge you'll just go around an empty world like Starfield or something like that, where you're just running for 10 miles and nothing happens. It's more of a self-contained, more to do, and I prefer that because you've got more things to find, and there's a lot of hidden bunkers and hidden stashes and hidden this, hidden that, and you have the resource management. So I do like the closed in environment. Actually, you will meet a lot of demented looking characters in general, in the way they look, and just in general they're demented, and some very strange people. You'll even meet a group that that praises Ronald Reagan. I nearly said Ronald McDonald. Ronald Reagan as their god. It's I'm not going to go into any spoilers, and all the footage you see in the background is just early footage, so you will see me playing like a bit of a Riri in the background. On the topic with cats with hats, I did have a dog. He was a good boy. Unfortunately, he took a buckshot to the face when I wasn't looking, so I replaced him with a cyborg chicken, which makes complete sense. As far as gameplay goes, if you've played XCOM, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head now is XCOM. I'm not going to compare it to Baldur's Gate, but it's turn-based, but like an absolute numpty. For the first half an hour, I was so used to the type of games where you take your turn as your character and then you click end turn. So for like an absolute dingus, for the first half an hour, I was taking one turn with a team member, end turn, and then wondering, why is the enemy getting like 6 turns and I get 1? And then I realised, oh, you absolute loon. I have to be. It's so annoying I can't swear on YouTube anymore because it's really testing my patience. Jesus Christ. When it comes to team members, there is a vast selection. Now, you can create your own at the Ranger HQ, but if you do that, you will miss out on some story items, because it's like, think of it, I don't want to keep comparing this to Baldur's Gate, but in Baldur's Gate, where you could create minions but they had no personality, it was just Old Man Withers hiding under a bunch of skin. There was no real input, so you can do that. And your two main characters, Mano, like I say, Biscuit and Twonk, they don't really have any actual meaningful dialogue. It's more like just banter here and there, but it is there. But if you, when you get a chance, sack off the mindless robots that you've hired, well, they're not robots, but mindless followers that you've hired, and get main characters. I've got a kid gunslinger. I thought it was a little boy at first, but it turns out it's a girl in a hat. But in this day and age, it's kind of hard to tell, to be honest. And when you explore the overworld, you will meet new characters, and it's up to you whether you take them on. I even met a drunken hobo who thought he was in the wrong city, but it added to his charm, and I took him on the team. So he gets fueled up. If you give him some whiskey, he does a bit more damage. So I've got one melee character, which I wasn't going to use originally, because I thought, well, why? When everyone's got guns, plasma weapons, bloody... I mean, there's literally a missile launcher that shoots frozen ferrets, and I had to do a double take and say, what's the ammunition? A frozen ferret? Is that oh no, it's just a ferret they've put in the freezer and fired it out of a missile. Okay, fair enough. Each team member will have different input, different banter, will get along with certain things, approve of certain things you do, and it is dialogue heavy. There's so much dialogue that's gone into this, and again, don't want to keep saying AA game, but the effort in this is, compared to AAA games nowadays, again, Ubisoft, few others, EA is going down that route. They're all going down that route where they just want to pump and dump these. They think everyone's still into Battle Royale. They think everyone's still into warfare, and Call of Duty is dying off, and all this type of stuff. People, believe it or not, do want to use their brains when they're playing a game. This will test you. It's all about resource management as well. I had a real bad situation where after 15 hours I realised I need ammo, so I traded some stuff, broke some stuff down, realised everything else I needed, so don't break anything down. Then I used my cash to buy ammo, buy scrap, craft ammo, and realised, shit, I don't even have a third of what I need. But I tried to make it work, which is why I integrated, what's his name? I think his name's Willy, unless I've just got Willies on the mind, I'm not sure. Needless to say, I was mortified when my good boy Doggo got shot. I really was not happy on that, and that set me on a path to vengeance.
You gonna arrest me? Fine. What do you want? It's the Garden of the Gods. Rocks, experimental farms, and now those fucking Dorseys.
That was just a tiny taste of some of the voice acting you'll be hearing, and like I say, it's not going to be winning any sort of Golden Globes, Emmys, or whatever celebrity bullshit they're pushing these days, but it's all there. I was actually surprised at dialogue, because I thought it was all going to be text-based like a lot of AA games are, and because they don't have the budget, and I get that. I'm not slating them for that. You can tell that there's quite a lot of love and hard work gone into that, but the voice acting is there, some better than others, but you will meet a crazy cast of characters. I met a group that praised a statue of Ronald Reagan, who wanted to exterminate all communists, and then you meet a group of robot communists, and you have to decide which one. Obviously I killed the communists. All the footage you see in the background is early game footage. I've played 25 hours, and I think that's completely fair to review a game right now. Also, bear in mind, I'm not IGN or GameSpot. I'm not going to be doing big in-depth reviews, and I'm not paid by anyone to tell them what to say. This is just, a man sitting in his room making videos, and I do appreciate all the new subscribers that have dropped by, so I'm much love, and I do appreciate that. When it comes to the people you meet as well, the amount of characters you meet is insane. Sometimes I do skip the dialogue, but only because I can read faster than what they are speaking. So they'll speak, and the dialogue comes up at the bottom. I've read the dialogue, a century before they finish speaking. That can get a bit annoying, so you do have to keep skipping. It's all about resource management as well, so if you're not into that, then you may not have a good time with this. I underestimated how important that was, and at about hour 9 I realised, shit, no one has any ammo and I have one melee guy with a crowbar. This ain't looking good, and I'm facing 6 mercenaries with bloody flamethrowers and ferret launchers or whatever they had. I don't know what it was. And yes, that is a real weapon. Like I say, you shoot frozen ferrets and they explode. It's actually a really good gun, but the ammo is quite expensive, and I haven't actually found any ammo in the wild yet, I don't recall. But as far as weapons, you've got all the 90s classics, because this is, like I say, the first one inspired Fallout. This one is like Fallout in the 90s, so there is still better technology in a certain sense, you know, not the whole nuclear thing, but it's very hard to explain. But the weapons are very, you know, M16s and this and that, and shotguns and the M-Law RPG 7 type things, you know, stuff like that. Loads of flamethrowers, but then you get futuristic stuff, and then you get, you know, the ferret launcher, which I'm starting to slowly fall in love with, because that is a really, really good gun. It just absolutely hammers everything. As long as you hit the target. I've also obliterated my teammates as well at times, doing some silly stuff. After my John Wick redemption arc, where they killed my good boy, he didn't have a name, he was just good boy. That sent me on the path of fury, and I executed an entire civilization. I'm trying not to go into a full-blown video essay, although people just don't watch long-form videos anymore with the attention spans of peanuts with TikTok and all that, so I'm going to leave it soon. Just a couple of notes. There are a few things that you will have to watch out for. So resource management, think of it in the way weirdly of Resident Evil. It's not so much about accuracy, because, well, it is, yeah, it's accuracy, but it's click accuracy. It's not you aim and shoot, you click, pick a target area of the head if you're that class, and you know, you have to make the resources last and switch between weapons, and it's best to have dedicated stats in each team member rather than try and be a jack of all trades, because that's what I tried to do at first and it's really gimped me. But I'm going to fight on through it, and now I know that I'm going to dedicate them to each specification. But yeah, turn-based, very similar to XCOM. If you like Fallout, you'll like this. If you like Baldur's Gate, you may like this. Think of it as Baldur's Gate but with guns. So if that interests you, then you're gonna like this, or you're just American. Overall, would I recommend Wasteland 3? Hell yeah. I'm 25 hours in, and I say I'm going to finish it, but I don't know if I'm going to play like a 100-hour game, because as I'm getting older, I'm a grumpy old bastard, so I don't know if I have the energy to finish a 100-hour game these days. But Wasteland 3 coming in as a complete noob, definitely worth your time, and look after your cats wearing hats.